Hi, I'm Phyllis Douglas, Vox Angelus, the voice of the angel, and I am a featured author in Sacred Spiritual Light Leaders, which is a wonderful collaborative book that is coming out. And sometimes it is much harder to actually get people to read the book than it is to write the book. But I want you to know that this book will change your life. This book has so much information in it that will serve as the tools and the resources that you need to begin to take that next step, to begin to move forward in your life. So, I want you to pick up a copy and actually read it and allow the content to alter the trajectory of your life. I wrote about surrendering to a higher spiritual truth. And I think really part of that, part of what you write, part of what comes through is what is really most prevalent in your own journey. You're speaking to that truth and you're speaking to that inner capability that exists for you to really mold and create your own life. And we all have different challenges within our lives based upon just how we grew up, the belief structures, the old paradigms, and just really the influences. Influences can affect you negatively, even though the influence itself could be positive or negative. But it may not be in alignment with who it is that you are. It may not be in alignment with the gifts that you've brought into the world. It may not be in alignment with your own mindset or your own thought processes and so forth. So my chapter really speaks to my journey of awakening up out of that miasm of untruths. Things that just that I was taught, but didn't necessarily resonate as being my truth. And so life is really meant to be about experiences, experience after experience after experience until that final experience of taking our last breath and our transference to our true and physical, soulful self, I will call it. And so, being that we are infinite source God within a physical form, having a physical experience, what I understand is that there are so many entrapments in life. And a lot of those entrapments began at a very young age. And many times we cannot find our way out of those entrapments. And so those entrapments, what I was finding for myself, were things that were diminishing the truth of who I am, which were really diminishing those thoughts about what I really could do in this world. And so I didn't really understand until a certain point just the capability, the power that we each have to really create our lives, to grow, to expand, to explore, to experience. And there became a point that I was, answering that divine calling, telling me that there is more to life. There is more to being in this life experience. There is more that you can do in this world because you and other human beings are in this creative collaboration, this communion, as it were, to whatever it is that drives them, positive or negative. You're in communion with something. And so I wanted to be in communion with infinite source God. I wanted to be in communion with that higher aspect, that God self that is truly me, that's existing within this physical body. And in so doing, then, we step into our own creatorship. Yes, we are created, but we are created to create. And we come into this lifetime with beautiful gifts and remembrances and information and access to so much more than we believe ourselves to be, so that we can then create the life that we're desiring to experience. And sometimes that life that we're desiring to experience isn't necessarily all gumdrops and roses. We might want to experience something that is almost like a harsher reality, because we're here to experience. And so from all of the experiences that we have, there's always a seed of a teaching that resides there. Like, why did I have this experience? Why am I experiencing this, right? Why did I experience that? We're here to learn. And so regardless of what those experiences are, they're only experiences. So I've just really been guided then to look at what I'm experiencing in the present moment and finding meaning in that, a learning, a teaching, because that, when you get whatever that is, that then is what drives you forward. So it's really about, life is about seeking union with the source of all creation, so that we can then live in alignment with that we can actually be that we can actually recognize ourselves as the creator of our own lives. What is most sacred to me? Every single breath that I take. And it's funny because I don't, maybe yesterday or the day before or a week before or a month before, I may not have actually said that, but it's true. What's most sacred in life is truly just every breath that you get to take. And that's actually making me teary-eyed. I think that is really like the most important thing, is like life itself. So you've got this life. What are you going to do with it? Right? What are you going to do with the beauty of this life? What are you going to create with it? Are you just going to sit back and disassociate from your own power? Excuse me. Like, are you going to disassociate from your own power, your own strength of just actually being able to collaborate with every aspect of life and to create what it is that you desire? So it comes down then to the pure and powerful essence of our ability to take a breath. Because if you're not breathing, you're no longer in this physical life, right? So it is the power and the magic and the beauty and the purity and the higher intelligence that resides in a single breath. Well, with this book, I believe that what it is that we have created are essentially pathways or doorways of expression through our own lives that then allow people to find similarities in what it is that we're sharing, what it is that we're speaking of within their own lives, so that we are then providing some tools, some resources, loving correspondences, really, through our writing, to help other people move forward, to help other people take that next step in their lives, or to even just help people recognize and acknowledge some of the things that they'd been blocking or really not paying attention to within their own lives, which are actually gifts that were given in order for them to grow, to evolve, to self-realize, to move forward. And I think that when you began, when you began to move forward in your life, you're always seeking things outside of yourself, or talking with people, or becoming part of a community in order to have that help on the same level of vibration and to lift you higher. And so this book, to me, with the stories and the beautiful people who are sharing them, I believe that it actually provides what truly is needed as a catalyst for people to take that next step forward in their own lives. I think what surprised me the most about this collaborative journey and what it is that came out in the writing was that I actually have more of a story to tell. I used to sit back and think, I know there's a book in me. I know I'm supposed to be writing, and I would look back at who I believed myself to be, and I would look back at my life and think, oh, nobody's really interested in that. Or like, maybe I'm not interested in it. I couldn't figure out what it was. I hadn't put all of it together. It was just these experiences, this life fodder, as it were. And so what surprised me is that when I figured out what the title was, the title served as a gateway to those past experiences, and the information just began to flow forward. So at first I had a paragraph and I was like, I have no idea where to go. And then the next thing was I was 7,000 words in, and I didn't even know what it was I'd written until I kind of looked back at it and I went, wow, we need that muse. We need a key to open up that gateway to our experiences. And just being part of this book, being part of this collaboration, really forced me to perform. Forced me to actually sit down and tap into that wisdom and understanding that's always been there. I didn't have the key to open up the door. I didn't know how to do it. The gifts that are hidden within my chapter for the reader, I believe, are just nuggets of truth that every human being can be affected by, that can essentially serve as a key to open something up within them. And I think part of it is really about recognition and honoring who you are as a human being, as a magical creator of your life. And so I stated that about the whole book, but I think each of the chapters then, they provide some form of key that brings forward just acknowledgement and recognition from within the individual reader that they didn't even understand was there, or it makes it more powerful to them when maybe they have not been able to kind of shift to the next level of understanding. So within my chapter then, and within my own story and experiences that I share, I'm providing those little nuggets, those little things to kind of tickle remembrances within oneself. After writing this chapter, I've just become more committed to being who it is that I truly am. And no longer hiding, because everything that I wrote is now kind of coming out and it's out in the open. I wrote things that have been hidden away for a very long time that I wasn't acknowledging. And so just from writing this chapter, I myself have become much more empowered to express my soulful self, my true self, into the world, and to really not look back. I think that one of the most difficult things about this entire process from beginning to end was really about my own becoming and my own recognition of who it is that I truly am. And that includes the reason I came into this lifetime. That includes my mission here on this planet. And from a soulful aspect, it's about really stepping in to your soulful journey. Why did your soul want to come into a physical lifetime? And so part of the difficulty in my process was almost feeling like I was somehow attempting to negate my humanistic aspect to be something else. But then it was like the realization that the humanistic aspect doesn't really resist. That's an alternate reality. What exists is this human body, and what exists is my God self, my soul self, which resides within this physical body and expresses itself and experiences a physical life. And so I was feeling like I was taking that next step of understanding, and that was really difficult because there was also a feeling of deep loss, like I was going to be missing out on something, like I was cutting off an appendage, that I really needed in order to keep moving forward. But then I realized that I was cutting off things that actually were not a positive influence, not a truth, a manufactured truth, a manufactured understanding. And so the writing of this chapter has allowed me to come to that, to come to this understanding and to be able to begin to disregard what I thought was our as a collective reason for being here on this planet. I realized none of that was true. All of that was manufactured. And so now I'm utilizing this new understanding, this new growth, this new and higher level of communion to create a new way of being, and then ultimately to be of assistance and guidance in creating a new world. In the reading of my chapter, I really want to share my experiences and to really share who it is that I am and to really share what it is that makes me tick so that other people that are reading this chapter, other people that are having challenging experiences and so forth in their life can maybe gain a little insight and a little spark of hope, maybe, from what it is that they're reading about my experiences and who it is that I am, so that they become inspired. And so throughout my own work, I work with clients all over the world in helping them to find their own buried truths, or to expand or enhance what it is that they have a knowing of, what it is that they're already doing in their lives. It's always about people who feel like, even if they're happy with their lives, they're feeling like something's missing. Something's not quite in alignment. I feel like there's more that I'm not accessing. And so my work serves then as a catalyst for what it is that you're missing, what it is that you have not been capable of accessing. And I would say that I don't do it for you, but I create the access points, the doorways, the gateways, as it were, so that you then have the ability to step through and fully capture and discover who it is that you are. And so I do this through my channeling work with Elohim, be it just messages for humanity. I do my vocal alchemical transmissions that are really, in a nutshell, to alter one's frequency, to elevate one's frequency, and to bring you into alignment with who it is that you truly are, why it is that you are here, and what it is you are meant to accomplish in this lifetime. Everything you need resides within you. But my ability is to powerfully be able to open the doorway to that, to help you to tap into that, and to bring it into the present moment so that you too can become who it is that you are meant to be.